They say life doesn't whisper, but that's not true in old age. Sometimes the body doesn't scream when it's nearing the end. It whispers, quietly, gently, in ways so subtle, so ordinary, that most people don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. Has someone you love started changing in small ways over the past year? Maybe they've lost a little weight, seem more tired, forget things more often, or just don't seem like themselves anymore. Most families shrug it off as just getting older. But what if those little signs were actually the body's way of saying, I'm preparing to let go? According to hospice nurses and end-of-life specialists, many people show early clues that they're in their final chapter, months, sometimes even a full year, before passing. But these signs are easy to miss until you're looking back with regret, wishing you had seen the message sooner. In this video, we'll uncover 5 subtle but powerful signs that may indicate a loved one is in the last year of life, not to create fear, but to give you awareness, so you can prepare with love, so you can make the most of the time you still have, and so when the moment comes, it finds you ready, with peace, not panic. Stay with me, because what you learn today might help you bring comfort, clarity, and dignity to someone who needs you most. You don't notice it at first. A skipped meal here, a smaller portion there. But over time, it starts to show. The full plate pushed away, the untouched cup of tea, the soft-spoken "I'm not hungry" that becomes more frequent. This is no ordinary pickiness. This is the body's quiet surrender. When an elderly person begins to lose interest in food, especially foods they once loved, it's often more than just a change in taste. It's a biological message. The systems that once digested, absorbed, and used food to fuel the body are now slowing down. Metabolism drops. Nutrient absorption weakens. The brain, once so responsive to hunger cues, stops ringing the alarm. It's not just that food has lost flavor. It's that the body no longer sees a need for it. You might notice clothes fitting looser, bones more pronounced, a once healthy appetite fading into quiet refusal. Families often respond with concern, offering favorite dishes, buying protein drinks, even pleading for just a few more bites. And while the intentions are filled with love, they may not change much, because at this stage, it's not about the food anymore. It's about what the body can and wants to process. In some cases, this shift happens slowly over months. In others, it feels almost sudden. But for many nearing the final year of life, it's one of the earliest signs the body is preparing to let go. Rather than forcing large meals, the focus should turn to comfort, small portions of easy-to-eat foods, hydration, and above all, dignity. Because eating becomes less about nutrition and more about care, presence, and love. So if you've noticed this change in a loved one, don't ignore it. The disappearing appetite isn't just a physical symptom. It's a message from within, one that says, gently and without panic, it's time to pay attention. You don't notice it all at once. It starts with a skipped walk around the block, then a full day spent in bed, until suddenly the person you love no longer has the energy to do the things they once did with ease. This isn't ordinary tiredness. It's a deep, bone-heavy stillness, a kind of quiet surrender happening inside the body. When an elderly person begins to experience this level of exhaustion, it's not because they're lazy or unmotivated. It's because their body is shifting into preservation mode. The systems that once kept everything running, heart, lungs, muscles, metabolism, are slowing down. Instead of producing energy, the body begins to conserve what little it has left, using it only for the bare essentials. Getting dressed becomes an effort. Preparing food feels like climbing a hill. Conversations become draining. Even sitting up for extended periods might leave them winded. You'll notice longer naps, shorter days, a need for quiet, darkness, and stillness. These changes aren't just physical, they're emotional too. Seniors often begin to pull back from social activities, not because they don't care, but because their energy is stretched thin. One moment they may seem okay, even upbeat, and the next completely depleted. That sudden crash, it's the body sending a message. I need rest. I'm slowing down. And here's the hardest part. Pushing them won't bring them back. Encouraging exercise, insisting they stay active, it may only add stress. What they truly need is your understanding, your patience, your presence. If you notice this kind of deepening fatigue in someone close to you, don't dismiss it. This isn't about sleep. It's about transition. Sit with them. Hold space. Create an environment where they can feel safe, supported, and unhurried. Because sometimes the most compassionate thing we can do is stop pushing and start listening to what their body is quietly trying to say. You look into their eyes, and for a second, they don't recognize you. Then, just as quickly, they smile, but something feels different. It's like part of them is still there, and part of them has already started to slip away. This is the fading connection. In the final year of life, one of the most unsettling, but often misunderstood, changes is in the mind. It can start subtly, a forgotten appointment, a repeated question, a look of hesitation in a place they've known for decades. At first, it might feel like simple forgetfulness, just another part of aging. But over time, it becomes more noticeable. Conversations lose their rhythm, names fade, emotions flatten, and slowly, the person you've always known begins to retreat into a quieter, more distant space. This isn't a sign of disinterest or neglect. It's not that they've stopped loving you. It's that their brain is working harder to stay present, and sometimes it just can't. As oxygen supply to the brain slows and neurological function declines, mental clarity begins to waver. Some days are better than others. One moment they're smiling and recalling childhood stories. The next, they're confused about what day it is, or even where they are. Emotional withdrawal often follows. They speak less, engage less, spend longer hours sitting in silence, looking out the window, or simply resting. Loud environments become overwhelming. Even small talk feels exhausting. For those watching, it can feel like losing someone before they're truly gone. But here's what's important. Your presence still matters. Even when they seem far away, your touch, your voice, your love, it reaches them in ways they may no longer be able to express. This is not the time for correction or frustration. It's a time for softness, for gentleness, for meeting them where they are, not dragging them back to where they used to be. Because even when the mind begins to drift, the heart still remembers what connection feels like. And that connection is everything. It starts as a simple cold, but it doesn't go away. Then a small cut that just won't heal. And before you realize it, every few weeks, there's something new. Another fever, another infection, another trip to the doctor. This is the battle within. For many elderly individuals nearing the final stage of life, the immune system begins to quietly shut down. It no longer fights like it used to. Minor illnesses become lingering struggles. Infections that once cleared up with ease now take longer to recover from, or never fully go away. Coughs linger. Urinary tract infections return again and again. The skin bruises easier, wounds heal slower, and something just feels off. These aren't isolated issues. They're signs that the body is losing its ability to repair and defend itself. Blood flow slows, organs begin to tire, and the body starts shifting its energy from survival to preservation. Often families think these recurring problems are just part of old age. They try new medications, new treatments, new doctors, but deep down the body may be saying something else. I'm tired. Even antibiotics become less effective. Recovery stretches longer, and the once strong resilience begins to fade. But here's the truth. This stage doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting focus from cure to comfort, from fighting the illness to supporting the person. Now is the time for warmth, hydration, clean sheets, soft touches, and emotional presence. Because even as the immune system weakens, the human spirit still craves love, dignity, and care. So when illness becomes constant, it's not just the body in decline. It's a signal that it's time to show up differently. Not with urgency, but with understanding. Not with force, but with compassion. You notice their chest rising, then pausing, longer than usual. And suddenly, you're holding your own breath, waiting for theirs to return. These are the final rhythms. In the last stage of life, the body begins to slow down in ways that are subtle, yet unmistakable if you're paying attention. Breathing becomes shallow, uneven, sometimes even startlingly still for a few seconds before it picks back up again. It's not just tiredness. It's the body whispering its goodbye. You might see their skin turn cool or pale. Hands and feet become cold, often with a faint bluish tint. That's not just poor circulation. It's the body prioritizing what matters most. Blood is being redirected to the core, preserving vital organs as energy slips away. Some experience what doctors call Cheney-Stokes respiration. Deep, fast breaths followed by silence. It sounds unsettling, but it's a natural rhythm in the final chapter. The lungs are no longer as strong. The heart pumps more slowly. Even the act of breathing begins to fade into stillness. Sleeping becomes more frequent. Lying flat may feel uncomfortable, and they may choose to rest propped up or in a recliner to ease the effort of breathing. You may also hear soft gurgles, shallow sighs, or a faint rattle, each sound a part of the body's graceful, quiet transition. For loved ones, these changes can be frightening, but they don't always mean suffering. Often they are simply signs of the body letting go, gently, peacefully. This is the time to lean in, to hold a hand, to speak softly. Because even as the breath fades, your presence remains a comfort they can still feel. And in those final rhythms, love speaks louder than fear. Sometimes the end doesn't arrive like a storm. It comes like a slow sunset, soft, quiet, and filled with subtle signals that the day is drawing to a close. These signs, weight loss, deep fatigue, fading memory, frequent infections, and changes in breathing, aren't just medical facts. They are messages from a body that has carried someone you love through a lifetime of memories. Now whispering, I'm getting tired. It's natural to want to fight it, to push for more food, more energy, more time. But often, what's needed most is not more doing, but more being, more sitting quietly, more holding hands, more listening, more understanding that dignity, peace, and love matter more in this chapter than trying to fix what cannot be fixed. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean giving up hope. It means shifting your focus from prolonging life to preserving the beauty within it. It means showing up fully, not in panic, but in presence. It's about preparing the heart, not just the schedule. It's about turning fear into compassion and silence into connection. So if someone you love is showing these signs, lean in, not with fear, but with love. Because when we stop trying to outrun the end and start walking gently toward it with them, something extraordinary happens. we stop counting the days and start making the days count. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video touched your heart, leave a comment below, share your thoughts, or tell us about someone you're walking this journey with. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep making content that matters. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay gentle with those you love.